What's up, guys? So today, my good friends over at Kittl challenged me to make a Y2K logo using their platform. Now, I took the liberty to log in to my account that I have and just check out their templates that they have. And I was honestly really shocked by all of the cool templates that you can edit. Although editing a template is cool, you might want to make your own completely custom Y2K logo, and that's where this tutorial is going to help you. I'm going to show you how to make your own logo using Kittl's platform and show you just how easy it is. So that's what we're doing. Hopefully by the end of this, you'll be a pro at making Y2K logos. At least that's the goal, okay? So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. What makes a good Y2K logo? For me, the font is everything. If you don't have the right font, the Y2K logo is not going to look very good, and it's not going to have that aesthetic that everybody knows. For example, if I use calligraphy or maybe a font that's way too thin, it might not look very good on a Y2K logo. So those are all things you really want to keep in mind. I wouldn't focus too much on color because that can be changed at any given moment. Those aren't the only things that make a good Y2K logo. You also need to focus on elements because that's what kind of adds to the logo, and we're going to go over that more in a second. But these are the logos that I made earlier, and one thing I want to do is click on the font and just kind of look at the font name so we can keep a mental note of it so we can use that later on. So this font is called Basement Grotesque. I think that's how you say it, but this is actually going to be a really good font to use. We can also use generic techno. It's a little thin in my opinion, but it still really works. So let's pretend like we're starting from scratch. So I'm going to leave this document real quick and let's start from scratch. When you first sign in, this is the menu you will see. Now, the cool thing about this is we can select from all these different categories such as logos, labels, t-shirts. I don't want to focus on categories or editing a template right now. What I would like to do is actually go up to the top right where you see new project, click that button, and it's going to present you with a blank document, a blank artboard, if you will. And this is where we can start editing. So the first thing I want to do is type out some text. Easiest thing in the world, guys. You go to the left-hand side here, there's a little toolbar similar to how Photoshop has that left side toolbar, and we see something that says text. What do you think you need to click on? Probably text, right? So let's click on that. For this case, we want to add a headline, so I'm just going to left click on headline, and as you can see, it gives us our headline, and I want to type out Y2K for this one. And this font actually works, to be honest with you. You can use this font. It's a little thin. We can bold it up if we want. But for this case, I'm just going to select that font that we found earlier that I really liked. It's called Basement Grotesque. Looks really good for what we're doing. And now we can actually duplicate this by holding in Option or Alt if you're on a PC and just type in logo for the second line, just like that. So Y2K logo, and this one could be a lot smaller, honestly. I want to start playing with some colors. So what I want to do is click on my top text line just by left clicking on it. Go up to text color, and then from here, I want to change it to more of like an orange color. To change logo to the same text color, I'm just going to click on the text color on that layer and just use my little eyedropper tool and select the orange, and it's going to copy it. Really easy to do. And then from here, we need to add a border, and it needs to be black and it needs to be thicker with the drop shadow. So you're probably wondering, how the hell do I do that, Charlie? It's actually quite simple in Kittl. All we do is head over to text settings, and you're going to see a little A with a star next to it. And this is going to be your settings where you can add things like decoration and shading. This is really cool because if we go to the third icon and I click on it, you're going to see it automatically adds that drop shadow, which is great. We could do things like offset it. We can change the angle. We can add an outline width. Now, outline width is the thing that we really want to focus on because this is going to give it that Y2K look. So I'm going to start raising the value here. And as you can see, it's starting to create that Y2K aesthetic, which looks so cool, right? And then from here, we can change the angle if we wanted to. So I think for this one, I'm going to go to like a 30-degree angle. Another thing we could have done is actually delete logo and just duplicate Y2K one more time and then type in logo. That way it copies the same characteristics that we just applied to Y2K. So that's like one little trick I would recommend trying. That way you can kind of keep it the same. One issue with doing it this way though is that when you go to downscale logo, it's going to have a thinner stroke because you downscaled it. So in order to fix that, I'm just going to click on the A again and just thicken up that stroke so everything looks consistent. This looks okay, but we need to add elements to make it look even better. So let's head over to that left toolbar again where we found text, and right under that you're going to see elements. Left click on that. On the search bar, let's type in Y2K and you should see a bunch of elements that we can use in our logo. And this is really where the Y2K logo starts to shine. So the first thing I want to do is select maybe a globe because I've always been a big fan of globes and I think they just look super cool with Y2K logo. So I'm going to try to find maybe a star and a globe to use. and see what that looks like. Even this one actually is really cool. With this element, it's going to be above everything. We don't want that. So if you right click on it, you can send it to the back. It's the very bottom option. And we also want to flip this. So I'm going to right click and let's go ahead and flip it horizontally. And now that looks so much better. So really it's just some small adjustments to make this thing look better. With this logo, I think I'm going to call this one done, and I'm going to duplicate it because I want to make one more. So for the second one, I think I'm just going to do a word, sort of like that. Let's get rid of the background element on this one. And then let's select a different font just so we can change it up a little bit. So I'm going to go to my fonts real quick and find a different font that might look cool. Maybe we could try this one, and let's play with the colors on this so we have kind of a different option to go with. And I think for this one, I'm going to go with more of a green because I think that looks super cool. Neon-esque. Is that even a word? What am I saying? I think I want to try to experiment with some stars to change it up a little bit. So let's add some stars, maybe something more like this. Send this to the back, possibly. There's so many options. That's the cool thing about Y2K logos is you can literally do whatever you want. I'm going to try adding this symbol and see if this looks cool behind it. So I'm going to send that to the back. And already this looks kind of cool in my opinion. I really like the way it looks. So I'm going to click this, but I want that stroke to be the same green. So let's see what that looks like. Yes, that looks so cool. This can literally be one logo if you wanted it to. Like we can kind of duplicate this and put it over here and mess with a different concept if we wanted to. Let's say we just delete that altogether and then go back to our assets and try to find something else. Maybe this symbol right here might look kind of cool. I like where this one's going. So let's send that to the back and then add a stroke around it, make it black. See, that's already kind of looking cool. Maybe add a star instead. Maybe it could be like this. If I bring this over, stroke will be black, inside will be green, possibly. For this one, I'm actually thinking the inside needs to be black and then that stroke green, sort of like this. And where do we want this part? That's the problem. Maybe in the middle because that 2. So 2 can kind of have that star behind it. And then if we wanted to, we can even add this little oval element that looks like a planet rotating on its axis. That kind of looks cool. Send that to the back. And now we can add logo in the corner. And I think that looks actually really cool. If you really want to, you can upload your own assets to Kittl, but in all honesty, you really don't have to. Everything, they give you the tools. You just have to use them, basically is what I'm trying to say. So once you're ready to save, all you do is head over to the top right corner. You're gonna see download, click on that. And from here, we can change the dimensions and even the DPI. I'd probably put that at 300. We can do things like remove the background, optimize quality. And then the most important thing is choosing the file format to save as. Now, if I was you guys, I would separate each logo on their own artboard and then save them individually. But if you don't feel like doing that, like me, then you can just save it as a PNG and a PDF. If you need an SVG, it's right there for you too. SVGs are great for like if you're trying to make a 3D logo in Blender, you would use an SVG file. But I usually use PDF and PNG. Kittl gives you everything you need to design literally anything you can imagine, such as logos, t-shirt designs, posters, stickers, you name it. You could do it on Kittl, and it's one easy subscription. So if you guys want to sign up, you could do that using the link in the description below. Huge shout out to Kittl for sponsoring this video and collaborating with me and giving me a little challenge, honestly, because I don't really design Y2K things, but I will say their platform makes it incredibly easy to design things like this. So, and I hope you guys learned something today, honestly. That's it for me though. I'll see you guys in the next one.